it's great to have you.
It's great to not be at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Usually we get up, we've only gone up I think once or twice. It's been early in the morning, and you're a late riser. You're just a nocturnal guy?
Well, I'm fighting at 9 o'clock at night. No reason to get up any earlier than I got to.
Right.
Well, that and, sleeping in. I don't have a 9 to 5 anymore. So, hell if I want to get up early.
Cool. I ran into you in a cab. I shared a cab with you and Dennis Kang a long time ago at one of the first prides. I think you were announcing. And I remember you talking about Affliction back then, and people hadn't heard about Affliction. You were one of the original guys that they sponsored, right?
There's only one person that's more OG than me, and that's Justin Levins, who's also fighting on this card.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I remember him talking about it, so I made a mental note. Then I started checking out the stuff, and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. And then when all of a sudden it blew up, I made that reference. You've just known Tom Atencio for a long time. Where did that develop?
Justin Levins and Clint Dahl introduced me to Tom. Actually, the biggest thing was I saw Justin wearing one of their shirts, and I said, that is one of the coolest damn shirts I've ever seen in my life. How do I get one of those? And he told me about it, and Clint's like, oh yeah, it's Affliction. It's a clothing company down here. I'll take you to it. So we went to their little warehouse in Santa Ana, me and Clint, and hung out with Tom, and they were giving me shirts and whatnot to wear, and they're like, I go, well, I'm fighting in Pride coming up here against Alex Emelianenko, and they're like, well, hey, what about this? Would you give him a shirt after you beat him? I go, heck yeah. So give me this one. It said, Vaya con Dios, go with God, right?
All right.
And on his back says, God med uns, God's with us. Perfect. So I go out there, beat him up, practically break his elbow, and then go and give him a t-shirt, show it, rip it out of the package, show it to the crowd, and the camera gets it, and then hand it to him. He didn't know what the hell I was doing, and he only speaks Russian, so he didn't even know what the hell I was saying. Mm-hmm. And they just flipped over that. They thought that was the coolest thing ever. I gave Mark Hunt a hat, and I said, I'd give you a shirt, buddy, but they didn't make any your size.
And I'm not gonna laugh too much because you know what? Tom Atencio gave me. I did the whole walk at Signal Hill at their warehouse, and he was, George, you want a couple? And I go, yeah, cool. I'll take a couple if you don't mind. And he gave me XXX. Man, they're still tight. And so I haven't been able to wear one.
Just tight through the chest there with the big pecs and everything.
Exactly.
Right?
Skinny G's coming. I'll start sporting mine soon. But I really like those shirts. The only problem is now a lot of people have them. So
that is kind of
I mean,
I remember when
you're OG. So.
I am. In fact, I'm so OG. To be honest, I've got a shirt the first signature shirt that was ever done, not for sale. In fact, it was before any rock stars, any movie stars, any fighters. They did a shirt for me based on an existing design. We just flipped it around, and I wore that at my Pride USA show the first time we were down here when I fought Natsula. So, I have a few of those that I've given away, but other than that, shirt's never been sold. And then the shirt that they started selling first for me, the gray one, with the guy with the skeleton on the horse, that was a design that I brought in some sample artwork, and the concept, and then the writing on the back was all me. But me and Tom and Eric put that together, and then they started selling that after they started selling them off of Randy and all that other stuff. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was already produced.
Well, that's cool that you've had some input on it.
Everything except for this most recent shirt, which I don't fault them because it was crunch time. They didn't have to just do a signature shirt for me. It was for 10 other guys. So the hustle was on. So this shirt I didn't get to work on, but my Extreme Couture shirt, my Affliction shirt are all designed alongside the artist. In fact, I'll come up with my Extreme Couture shirt I'm wearing. I did the concept for it. I came up with the Latin and had it translated. The colors that we would use, some of the images and motifs and how it would be laid out. And then me and Eric just sat down, and then he put together the sample work, and he would send me pictures of it, and I'd say, yeah, that looks great, or whatever, and then or make a change here, and then this is the final product. And I take a lot of pride in being a part of the design process in the clothes that I wear as well.
Do you speak Latin, Josh?
I do not.
Oh, okay.
So I hope everything didn't come off real bad. Actually, I used translation software, and I did a lot of research on the words to just make sure that it wasn't idiotic.
Right. No, you've always been a very cerebral guy, and you just seem like the type of guy that reads. So it wouldn't shock that you were to tell me. I do read,
but
because you grab the mic in Japan. Obviously, you got a lot of experience. If you grab it, man, you take over the crowd. That's something that a lot of fighters can't do.
Oh, that's just already resigning that I'm gonna say something stupid. I'm gonna look stupid. What the hell? I don't really care anymore. I'm just gonna go out there and do my thing, and have fun with it. Well, nothing to be embarrassed about already. I've already done what could be done. And as far as reading, comic books, I've been told, don't really count by Shannon Hooper. That's what she says.
Well, Josh, obviously you've had this long relationship with Tom Atencio. Was there ever, at any point in time, was there ever any discussion about putting some kind of fight card together, or did this just kind of come out of left field to you?
Actually, me, Tom, and Todd, one vivid memory, we were sitting on a plane going to Vegas. I don't remember, I think we were going for UFC, or maybe we were going for something else. And, we were kicking around the idea of throwing together a small fight event. My concept was to do a high-profile party, VIP kind of thing, get some different sponsors for alcohol.
Like the Playboy Mansion?
Like a Playboy Mansion card. And we were talking about doing it in they've expanded all the way into all their space at Signal Hill now, but at the time they had a big warehouse that was completely empty. And we do that, we do about 500 guests, maybe 1,000, probably around 500, 600. Make it, a high dollar value, but sell cigars, sell premium stuff, have a red carpet, have about 4 or 5 fights, and that was my concept. And we all were brainstorming on this, and Todd's like, "Bro, I'll do it, but you got to fight for me, bro." I'm like, "Oh, come on, Todd. That's like, I have fighting like pride and all." He's like, "Dude, we're not doing it if you're not fighting, bro." So I'm like, well, I still think it'd be really cool. And with the way things worked out with UFC and Affliction and the big pissing contest that UFC got into them with, and then how a lot of their people they were working with were having issues with UFC, and they saw their opening with their connections to take it just that much further. And it went from being a small kicking around idea to this big giant
The
thing.
greatest card ever.
The greatest card in the history of
You know what I mean?
Well,
that's
if I'm
quite
on
a
it, I don't
splash
think
on the
per se,
scene.
so.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was implying. No, I mean, especially the fact that the UFC's just lost so much focus on the heavyweights, and these guys are coming in strong. 4 great matchups.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you're fighting Pedro Hizzo.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a win over you.
Mm-hmm.
Did you seek out that actual matchup? Because
no,
a lot of fighters like to avenge.
Right. Actually, I hadn't thought about fighting Pedro for years. I thought, it's probably never going to happen. It's just live and learn. And I tell everybody that I work with as a trainer, I go, yeah, whether you win or you lose, there's always something that can be gained from that fight that can help you become a better fighter. So just take that with you, and don't worry, and don't focus on too much else. So I just chalked it up to a loss, and hopefully something that'll make me a better fighter. And his name was just one that was thrown at me. In fact, I had they mentioned Alexander Emelianenko. I said bring him. They mentioned Arlovsky. I said fine. In fact, in the beginning, people like Fyodor and Randy weren't even considered to be fighting on this first card. And me and my manager and Tom and Todd, we all sat down and hashed out a lot of the framework to the card that you're going to see right now. In fact, some of these matchups are matchups that I came up with.
Oh, you've had a role in the matchmaking.
Well, I mean, not on paper so much, but I sat down there and they're like, "Hey, we got this guy. We want to match him up with somebody that we think is going to make a really good fight, or we got these guys. How do we make how should we do this? What should we do?" And so we sat down there and we gave our opinions, and we talked about it, and we said, "Hey, who should we bring into this company?" And I made phone calls and hooked some people up.